It has come to my attention that you think you're ugly. Bestie, we need to do better. We need to do better because I can't do it. I can't be that friend that's always hyping you up. That gets tiring. You need to believe it. So, we're going to break down all the reasons why you think you're ugly and why you're not. Okay? Okay. This is something I've actually always thought about. I've always believed. My belief is that nobody is ugly. And when I say that, I mean like no one is aesthetically ugly per se, but there are things that can make you less appealing. And when I think of those things, I think of your surroundings, I think of the people you have around you, where you learned your self talk, such as family, but also just, your friends. I also think of, yeah, where are you, your location? And then you also have to think about what is it that you're doing in life? What is it that you're doing for yourself? And whether you even like you. So while we're on the topic, where should we start? Let's start with you because that's the problem, isn't it? Okay. So, number one, let's start with you. The reason why you think you're ugly is because are you really taking care of yourself? Are you saying that you've really done enough for yourself? And when I say that, I'm not saying like you've gotten work done. No, 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 no. You don't need to do all that. You don't need to do that. What you need to do, however, is you need to change the way that you talk about yourself and the way that you look at yourself. So, have you taken the time to figure out a style that works for you? And I'm not just talking about that works for your body shape because yes, that's also a factor, but I'm also talking about a style that you like, that you put on and you feel confident in. Have you actually taken the time to figure out a style that works for you? That when you wear this, you feel your best in? Have you taken the time to figure out a hairstyle that works for you, that makes you feel confident, that you are flipping your hair, you are running your fingers through your hair, and you feel like you are that girl or that man? Sorry. I make assumptions. Like when I see people who they found their hairstyle or styles, they are confident. And when we talk about confident, like it just boosts you. Like there's something about a person who walks in with confidence and makes people automatically look at them and just move towards them. So are you feeling like you're not that person because you're wearing your clothes from 10 years ago? You've never done anything new with your hairstyle. You feel like you're just there. Try this. Take the time, figure out the styles that you like, you feel confident in, and that also work for your body shape. And also figure out, do I like this hairstyle? Do I like this hairstyle that I've been doing? Do I need to try something new? Do I need to try a wolf cut? Do I need to try a coconut head? Because you know what? You know what? I feel like there are some people who could rock a coconut head. They're few and far between. Maybe you need to go for a mullet. Maybe you need to get highlights. Maybe you need to try everything under the sun until you find something that works for you. Because I'm telling you, half of people's glow up is getting a skincare routine, finding out hairstyles and styles that work for them, and just rocking it. Because once you feel confident, other people sense that too. But then also, let's talk about skincare. Let's talk about you actually taking care of yourself. Are you telling me that you are getting enough sunlight, enough vitamin D? You're actually leaving your house every day and getting fresh air? Are you telling me that you're actually getting a workout in, even if it's just a walk, like something to get your blood pumping? I'm telling you, I take walks every day now. I take a 45-minute walk. And the way it gives me peace of mind, it makes me feel like a better person, a better human being, because I've like processed all my thoughts. And when people say that exercise is good for you, yes, it's good for your body, yes, it's good for your fitness, but it's also good for your mind. You need to take care of your mind. And then, okay, there was this post, someone had done this video that had actually inspired me because it kind of kicked me in the butt. This lady was talking about how, so you're not feeling confident, you're not feeling like you're not feeling your best. And she said, and why would you? She said, and why would you? When you look at soccer players or basketball players, football players, when you look at athletes, when you look at people of renown, they're confident. You know why? Because they show up every single day. They go to the gym every single day. They put in their best effort every single day. They do everything they can in their power to make sure that when they step out onto the court for an actual competition, they know that they've given it their all. So win or lose, yes, it might be frustrating if they lose, but they know that they gave it their all. Like, they're confident because they put the work in. And in the same way, how can you be confident in yourself when you don't read books, like you don't learn new things, you don't challenge yourself, you don't keep your promises to yourself, you're just there, you don't even show up for yourself. So how can you feel confident? Well, first of all, how can you feel beautiful if you don't feel confident? And how can you feel confident if you're not showing up for yourself, you know? So what I'm saying is, go find your style, go find your hairstyle, go take walks, go do some form of exercise, even if it's just like you do a 5-minute dance every day in front of the mirror, because tell me you won't be confident after doing that. But also, keep your promises to yourself. Do the things that you said that you're going to do. Go be good at something. Go be great at something. Even if it's like a craft, embroidery, knitting, sewing, you're the best at SQL. You know your job better than anyone else. Go be great, or at the very least good at something. Something that you can talk about for hours. Because I will say too, I meet a lot of strangers, and when I meet them, I love finding out their specialties, their hobbies, that they just know so much lore and backstory and history and the nitty gritty on. And I love I love seeing people light up when they talk about their thing. All right, moving on. So that's you. That's your job. If you want to feel better about yourself, that's your number one homework. Figure out what promises you need to keep to yourself. What things you need to do that'll actually make you feel better. Go take care of yourself. Go take care of yourself. Find a skincare routine. Do the things that make you feel better. Change your clothes. I like, those little things add up. How can you feel good or feel like anyone is looking at you with pride when you're not taking pride in yourself? You know? That's number one. Number two is check your location. Check your location. Check your location. Check your surroundings. Check the people around you. Because one thing, if you're surrounded by mean girls, or if you're surrounded by people who make you feel like a duff, then you're going to feel like a duff. And if you're in an environment where everyone is looking for one certain image, everyone's looking for someone who looks a certain way, and you don't look that way, you're not going to feel great. But also, think about just think about where it is that you're actually located. There was a video that came up a while ago where a guy was talking about how he's considered New York handsome, but if he goes down to Miami, he wouldn't be considered anything. And then there's LA handsome. But if LA handsome moved to Connecticut, I'm telling you, And then if you're Italy pretty, like, and then you move to, I don't know, okay, maybe not Italy. Italy might be a bad example, but different places have certain aesthetics, have certain looks, have certain styles, and you might feel like you're not it because people aren't looking your way or checking for you, but really it could just be that where you are located, they're looking for a certain kind of vibe that's not you, and that doesn't mean you're ugly. That just means that those people aren't checking for you, but people who don't follow crowds won't care what everybody in the city is looking for. That's number one. But number two, I encourage you to travel, because because the more you go to other places, the more you see that what is considered beautiful changes for everyone, for a location, for people, for culture, for community. It changes. You are not ugly. You're not ugly. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to move. I'm just saying, travel. Meet different types of people. Get and if you can't travel, just get into different types of groups, the other types of communities. Like go to different spots. Leave leave your comfort zone and go to places you've never been and meet people you haven't met before. If your surroundings are making you feel like you're not enough or like you're not it, you need to change your surroundings, whether it's moving or traveling or just simply being in different circles. I also realized this too. The way I grew up, I never thought I was ugly. I never did. But then again, I grew up around so many people from so many different cultures. From Senegal, from Kenya, I'm Ugandan. We people from China, from Korea, from the Philippines, from India, from everywhere. But because of that, there wasn't like one singular look. And so I wasn't trying to look like someone else or like a singular person. Instead, I was just out there being me. And I do think that is important. When you are in more diverse circles, you don't, I don't think there's this feeling of I have to be like everyone else. Yes, everyone might be together, linked together by certain mentalities or ideas, but for the most part, there's this understanding that we're all different. Just get into different communities and maybe find international communities. But that's number one, because you shouldn't be around people who make you feel like you're not enough or like you're the ugly friend. One, that's not friendship. Two, this isn't Mean Girls. And three, it's a lie. It's a lie. No, no, they lie. It's BS. It's none of it's true. Also, there are some people who think that they're ugly, but I don't think it's necessarily that other people told them that. It's from what they've seen, that they've come from a culture or community or people who are always looking for faults when they look in the mirror. I don't do that. And I don't do that because I've never seen anyone around me do that. My mother has never done that. I don't see my sister doing that. I haven't been around people who go to the mirror and they're like, and this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is wrong. See, no, your mentality is wrong because why would you do that? Like, why would you do that? The truth of the matter is that whenever you go into a situation looking for problems, you're going to find it. So if you're looking at your own face, your own self, looking for problems, you're going to find them. But if I'm looking for good, and that, granted, that's also mentality, I tend to look for good. I tend to look for good in people and in situations and in myself. Yeah, like I acknowledge my problems, I acknowledge where I need to grow, but I'm looking for good. I'm looking for improvement and growth. So you need to do the same for yourself, and you need to recognize that it's a culture and it's a habit, that there are some people who they saw their mothers constantly criticizing themselves, or maybe their parents were criticizing them, but that it's habit, and you need to break the habit by starting a new habit. Look in that mirror and give yourself a compliment. Shut yourself down every time you want to insult yourself or look for something that's wrong, and give yourself a compliment. Like, I look good today. Like, oh, okay, I see you with that haircut. Oh, all right, nice earrings, nice earrings. Like, you need to build these habits, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. You've been doing the other thing for however many years or decades. So, you need to be patient. You need to be kind to yourself, okay? And do it step by step. All right. And then, lastly, here's what I will also say: check your heart, because it's not going to sound great to hear, but there are people that I have incorporated into my life before where I was like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty, they're so cute. And for whatever reason, we end up getting close. And then I get to know their heart. And when I say the way that I perceive them changes, suddenly I'm like, oh, this is you. I'm looking at them and I'm like, I'm not seeing that cute person I saw in the beginning. Where did that go? But then there are also people who I got to know them and I got to know their heart. And when I say I would look at them, the way I saw them changed, and it's not just me, but I know it's not everyone, but the way your heart is how you treat yourself and how you treat others changes the way that other people perceive you. It if you have an ugly heart, you're ugly. And if you have a beautiful heart, you are beautiful. So you need to check yourself and check your heart, check the way that you talk about yourself and the way that you talk about others, the way that you handle things. Like just try and be a better person. I guess is all that I'm saying. So I feel like this might have been a little all over the place. But all to say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Go to different locations and they will tell you, oh, look at that long neck. A long neck is exactly what I'm looking for. Another location, they're like, no, you need to have these ear gauges. And another location will be like, people with people with freckles is all that I'm looking for. And another place will tell you that they want women with really small feet. And before you break your nose or cut your feet or do these things, why don't we just try finding out what we like for ourselves in our own bodies, giving ourselves those affirmations of what we like about ourselves and what we found for ourselves, and then changing up our environment to find people who like us as we are, as we like ourselves, people who like us as we like ourselves. Because I still remember, I think it was a Shel Silverstein poem where there was a girl who was blue or green, but she wore a mask to hide it. She spent her whole life looking for someone else who was also blue, but she never found them because they too were wearing a mask. So, how do two people in masks find each other? You have to help yourself, be kind to yourself, speak kindly to yourself, improve, be a better person. And you have to figure out what works for you, what you like for your body, for your face, for your skin. And then you have to look at your people and ask yourself if these people are actually for you or if they're just trying to tear you down. And then find other people who will actually lift you up. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This has been this has been so you think you're ugly and why you're not. I hope you take the time. I hope you take the time to look in the mirror and realize just how beautiful you are and doing everything that you can to just kind of polish that, You are a work of art, and if you're constantly neglecting that art, then you're treating a priceless figure or monument like it's trash. You don't do that. You don't do that with a Monet or a Caravaggio. You don't do that with Dali. No, you polish it. You give it a nice frame. You give it the dusting that it needs. You give it the outer work that it needs. That's what you do. So that's what you're going to do with yourself. You're going to give yourself the care, give yourself the frame. You're going to polish yourself off, and you're going to go out there into the world with confidence. Okay? And those who are blue like you will find you. Okay. And this is me honestly using up as much of the camera time as my phone will allow, and it's still recording. Okay. This has been my TED Talk, and Brenda out. Thank God.